welcome to another episode of Cheltenham Run In. We are absolutely over the moon to be joined by Henry the Bromhead. Henry, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having me.
Um, Henry, I suppose I'm going to start and ask the big question. Does Honeysuckle go to the champion hurdle after what can only really be described as a destruction of the Irish champion hurdle?
I think that's pretty much the plan now at this stage. We sort of said we'd see how the Irish champion hurdle went. Obviously, it went really well, and we were fortunate enough to win the Mares hurdle last year. And look, I think we'd love to have a crack at it. So I'd say we're pretty much safe to say we're going for it. We haven't actually sat down and discussed it, but I'm pretty sure we are. Everyone's happy to.
Just we see you have Aspire Tao, who was second to Sharjah last time out at Leopardstown, and also Jason the Militant, who's actually entered up in the Red Mills on Saturday at Gorn. Are they both likely to run in the champion hurdle as well?
Yeah, Aspire Tao is very much he's heading for the champion hurdle also. Yeah, as you say, he had a great run at Christmas. He's only 5. I thought he was brilliant last Christmas at Leopardstown, and then I felt he fell at the Dublin Racing Festival, and then he never really turned up, I thought, at the Triumph Hurdle at all. So it was great to see him back to form there, back to what I thought he was last Christmas. It was great to see that up the north, and he's a horse that's improving all the time. So yeah, delighted with him as well. He'll definitely go. Jason is going to the Red Mills hurdle, and I would say, we're pretty much heading for the champion then after that. Hopefully, with the weather and everything, it'll go ahead on Saturday. And if so, he'll go there, and bar, it didn't work out for whatever reason, I'd imagine he'll head for the champion hurdle also.
Yep. Henry, obviously with Honeysuckle go into the champion hurdle, then that leaves Minella Melody entered into the Mares. Look, she's been unlucky this year, hasn't she? But is it still full steam ahead to go against Concertista in the Mares?
Yeah, absolutely. She's probably finished the closest to her of all the mares around at the moment. As you say, it's a bit unfortunate Concertista's around this year. She's been very impressive. But Melody's a very good mare in her own right. And we'll go and take our chance and see how we go. She seems in good form, and her last run was very good, and hopefully in the mares race she may not have to do all the donkey work as well, which might help her a bit.
Henry, I'm going to quiz you on Bob Olinger. First of all, how did he come out in Nice? That was a very, very good success from there, and he's owned by very powerful owners now in the racing game in Ireland. And Robcore, is he all steam ahead for the Ballymore given the 2 mile 4 run, or are we still undecided?
I'd say we're 90%. He won his grade 1 over 2.5 miles. He won his maiden hurdle over 2.5. He's a horse with a lot of pace. So we've left him in the Supreme, but I would say we'd be leaning towards the Ballymore. As you say, Robcore have got a lot of nice horses. Fortunately, they're great supporters of ours, so very lucky to have them. And delighted with Bob. He's a very exciting horse, and he's done very little wrong so far.
Henry, Epsom the Who has been really one of my favourite horses this season. What's the aim for him? Will he go to Cheltenham?
I don't think so. I would say there's a nice 2 mile grade 3 novice chase at Navan on I think it's the 5th or 6th of March. And we're going to aim him for that, bring him back into novice company. 138, he's probably be 144 or 5 in the UK. Probably not high enough for the Arkle, certainly this year's Arkle. And I think we wouldn't really want to go for that. I don't know if, the Grand Annual Yeah, I think he's better to stick to novices. We tried the handicap at Leopardstown. He ran fine, but I think we'd like to slot back into the novice now at Navan. I think it's a better route for him. Maybe look at Aintree then in time.
Yeah, Henry, another one I'm going to touch on here is Captain Guinness took a very nasty fall whenever coming to challenge in Ergamine the last day. Has he come out of the race okay?
Yeah, he seems great. He's schooling well since, so very happy with all that. Yeah, it was just at the wrong time, sadly, and he's a deadly jumper. I think it was just novice-y, and yeah, Rachel, like he ran well at I thought he was very impressive the first day in Punchestown. I was really happy with him that day, and then he struggled on the real heavy ground at Naas. He's out of presenting mare. He's a good moving horse. I'd say his class lets him win, you know, on soft or heavy ground, but ultimately at grade 1 level, I think he needs better ground. He's got a long, you know, a good bit of ground to make up on and Ergamine on the Naas run. But Rachel said the way he travelled at Leopardstown for that better ground, nicer ground there, she was amazed at the difference between how he travelled at Naas and Leopardstown. So again, hoping for, you know, slightly better ground again, maybe Cheltenham. And he was going very well when he hit that fence. You know, look, we'll see. We're up against it, but I think he'd be a horse at a big price. He'd have a great each way chance.
Yeah, Henry, just on Itlad de Rio, I was very impressed with him at Naas last time. How impressed have you been with his progression this season?
Yeah, really good. You know, he's like he obviously didn't get a chance to show us what he could do over hurdles. We only got the 2 runs into him before we had to shut down for COVID. We were planning to go to Aintree for the 3-mile novice there last year, but obviously that was all stopped. So we didn't know much about him, and he's one of those real staying types. So he's not a horse that would blow you away at home, but he's jumping really well. Touch wood, and he seems to stay really well. So yeah, looking forward to having a go in the old RSA. I think it's the 3-mile novice chase anyhow. I think it's the Brown Advisory now, and obviously Monkfish looks very good, but sure, it's Cheltenham, and we all know anything can happen, and we'll go and take our chance and see.
Yeah, Henry, I've just got the list of other entries there for the first day. I'll just name off a few. Sure, I'll not trouble you with them all.
Yeah.
They maybe like Champion Gold there. You've Minella Melody we touched on, and Career. Say them two.
So Champagne Gold is in the Supreme. He went up £6 for finishing second at Leopardstown the other day. He's 138 in Ireland. He's gone to 145 in England. He'll be entered for the Martin Pipe, and the county hurdles, and he is also obviously in the Supreme. I would say 145. I'm not sure. We haven't really decided yet where he'll go, but delighted with his run at Leopardstown, and I think he'd have a good fighting chance in whatever he ends up in. And then Irascible, he's been very good for a horse that's had very little racing. He was second to Appreciated at Christmas, and then on sort of just bit gluier, tackier ground, he was 5th behind him in the grade 1 at the Dublin Racing Festival, only his 3rd run. He's improving all the time. We think he'll be better for better ground, and he'll take his chance in the Supreme, I'd imagine.
Ryan or Alan?
Yeah, I'll pop on. Henry, Minella Indo was obviously entered into the Gold Cup, and I was very sweet on Minella Indo all year. Obviously, he probably didn't run the best race in the Irish Gold Cup, but how has he come out of that?
Yeah, he's come out of it really well. it was never really on our plan. Our plan was to get plenty of runs into him up till Christmas. So we obviously went to Wexford. He was very impressive. Then we went to Navan, and he was very good there. And then we went for the Savills Chase, and he just had that silly fall. So then we had to rethink, and the best option looked the Irish Gold Cup for him. And I suppose we were conscious we wanted to get a clear round as well. Possibly wasn't written as committed as we would normally early on. So, I think, I was immediately after the race, like you, I was probably a bit disappointed with him. But the more I think about it, he comes alive at Leopardstown. He was beaten in a 2.5 mile maiden hurdle at Limerick at Christmas in his hurdle season, ridden the way, ridden sort of holding on to him. I think he's the type of fellow, like when he won the Albert Bartlett, he just bounced out and made all. I think he needs to be ridden aggressively, and I'd imagine that's what we'll do. He seems to love Cheltenham, and I'd say the trip, shouldn't be a bother to him. So I certainly wouldn't be discounting him. He's in mighty form, and he's being trained for that day.
Yeah, obviously a really good result last year in the Gold Cup with Minella and Chris's Dream. Monelly's out injured. How is he?
Sorry, I lost you there, Ryan, just at the end. You said
Monelly is out injured, isn't he? How is he like?
Yeah, he's good. He's coming back all the time. He'll be ready for next November, hopefully, once we get a clear run. Yeah, it's a real shame that happened, but unfortunately it does. And we're just bringing him back as best we can, and like I say, hopefully he'll be ready to rock and roll again next November.
Yep. Yeah, just looking at a Plutar, stamina came to the fore in the Savills at Christmas. He's a very good Cheltenham record. Would you have any issue in regarding the trip, or would you think he'd be all right on slightly better ground?
Yeah, it's I suppose it's the unknown, isn't it? But the way he powered to the line, it looked like he needed every inch of it in the Savills. And I just thought, certainly coming into the race, it looked an incredible race. And the way it was run, there was no let up. So to see him stay on like he did at the end was fantastic. And look, you can never say for sure until you go and do it. But I thought it was very encouraging the way he ran to the line, and he seemed to power through the line. He seems in mighty form, and he's an incredible horse in the sense that he had the class to beat Chacun Poursuit over 2 miles last year at Leopardstown, and it was more just to see, could we open up more options. Also, I thought in the Ryanair he looked to be that they quickened away from him, and he stayed on again after the last year. I was a bit disappointed with him, but when looking back at it, so we said we'd try him over the 3 miles, and it's fantastic. He's gone and done it so well. He's obviously crying out for it. He's a very classy horse, and as probably Indo wants to be ridden aggressively, Plutar seems to like taking his time and passing horses, so we've two different types there.
Henry, just for me, a horse that I really adore of yours, last year's Arkle winner, Put the Kettle on. First and foremost, she had a good run at Christmas. Was the plan always to keep her nice and fresh for going there at Cheltenham this year?
Definitely, yeah, absolutely. Our plan was to go to Kempton. She was going to go with Mona Lee to Kempton for Christmas. I just wasn't convinced Leopardstown, big open galloping track like that, was going to be, big fences, long straight. I just wasn't sure it was going to be ideal for her. She seems to firstly love Cheltenham. She comes alive over there. Obviously her form, she just keeps improving over there. And I just thought maybe the sharper track like Kempton would have suited her better at Christmas. Obviously, we had to change our plans. when we weren't allowed to travel, and we went to Leopardstown instead. And I thought she ran very well, but she's just a different mare at Cheltenham. So, it's funny. I was toying between the Mare's Chase and the Champion Chase, but just reading the record, I think the last 10 winners at the Arkle, I think 6 or 7 have won the Champion Chase the following year, and 3 have been placed. So it's an incredible record, and it was what made me go for the Champion Chase years ago with Sizing Europe, was looking at that Arkle stat. So I've spoken. We've discussed it with the Darmodys, her owners, and I think we're leaning towards the Champion Chase. And again, you'd hope she'd have a good outside chance.
Yeah, because funny, that's what we were discussing about earlier on, about where would she run, and I know the lads are pretty keen there on other horses in the Mare's Chase, but I was saying if I've put the kettle runs in the Mare's Chase, lads just are all on the loser, because she would take some beating given her great record around Cheltenham. But I think she'll run a big race and wherever she goes at Cheltenham, really, I think.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, look, it's obviously the stronger race, but she improved a stone from dropping back from 2.5 miles to 2. She was beaten over 2.5 in Tipperary one day in a novice chase by a mare, Willys, and then we dropped her back to 2. And she just loved it, So I think this year, we go all guns blazing and have a crack at the Champion Chase and see. I think. Look, I need to confirm it with the Darmodys, but I'd say they were leaning that way, and I'd say that's what we'll do.
No, she would definitely be well worth her crack at it. Like, she deserves it. So she does. Ryan?
Yeah. Henry, we were talking to James Stevens from the Racing Post earlier, and he mentioned one that he really liked of yours for the Grand National, actually. Minella Times. Will Minella Times go to the Grand National?
Yeah, there's every chance. He's number 58. He got a rating of 146 in the race. He's only 144 in Ireland. That's interesting. I missed the name of the person that picked up on him. Yeah, I must say, okay, yeah. I think he's been a little bit unfortunate this year. He's been beaten. He's been second. He won in Listowel, and then he was second at Leopardstown twice. He jumps amazing. I think he'll be some spin around there. He stays well. Never run him further than 3-1 in the Paddy Power, where he stayed all the way to the line. I can't say for sure he'll stay, but I think he could be a lively outsider in the race. Yeah, if everyone's happy to go. I mean, he's got the entry. Nothing's confirmed. He'll also get the entry in the Irish National. He's only 8. Maybe, it might be a stepping stone to the English National. I'm not sure. It's not confirmed yet. But I think wherever he goes in any of those kind of nationals, he'd have hopefully have a right chance. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, Henry, if Spyglass Hill just entered in Gorn as well at the weekend. How did he come out of the run into Testis?
Yeah, he's good. He's been really good since. He's a funny fella. I just don't know if these big handicaps suit him. I've tried him 3 times now, and they've always been disappointing. The Thyestes was probably the best run, but I'm starting to wonder, do smaller fields suit him? So we said, although we're not great on ratings in it, we'd give him a go and see, there's plenty of nice grade 3s and grade 2s we can have a go at. So we're going to step in there and see. He won over the course and distance, won his beginner's chase last year over the course and distance. So we'll give it a go and see. But he is out on ratings a bit. But, we'll learn more with him.
Yeah, just to pick out a few more that's entered on the 17th. Holy Macapony, Tell Me Something Girl, and Notebook. What are they going to Cheltenham, Henry, or?
Holy Macapony won't. After his first run, he was brilliant, but he's been very disappointing since. We hope we found an issue, and so he's going to be. He's been treated for that, and he'll be out for a few months. We'll put him away till next season and let him mature as well. Like, he was so impressive the first day, beating Galliard de Manil, the horse that won the Grade 1 at Leopardstown. Like, we beat him 6 lengths at Punchestown, and then he pulls up the next day in Navan and beaten out of sight at Leopardstown. So yeah, hopefully we found the issue, and if we have, you know, he'll be a nice horse for next year. So he couldn't go on the back of his last 2 runs. Tell Me Something Girl ran really well at Leopardstown there a couple of weeks ago at the Dublin Racing Festival. First run back for a long time. I'd say she'll go for the Mares Novice Hurdle. And the other Notebook will go for the Champion Chase, I'm sure. Yeah, that's the plan at the moment. He'll go for the Champion Chase. And again, he could, you know, his form wasn't great there last year. But I mean, on his Irish form, he'd have a good chance at a big price, good each way chance at a big price.
Ryan?
Yeah, Henry, of Chris's Dream entered at Cheltenham as well. How's he gonna go?
Yeah, he's good. He ran really well in the good chase at Down Royal. Just getting caught by the Storyteller. That form doesn't look too bad after Leopardstown the other day. The Storyteller, he's always involved, and no matter what race he's in, he's an incredible horse. And yeah, it was a shame we got caught on the line. I kind of left there going, oh, we didn't see out 3 miles, so we dropped back to 2.5 in the John Durkin, and we went out and tried to take on Min, and it just didn't work for us at all. Now he's a horse that needs good gaps between his races. He can put in stinking runs, so we've really freshened him up. And yeah, we'll go to the Ryanair and maybe ride him with a little bit more restraint and just ride him like we rode him in the race at Down Royal, and see would that suit him. So yeah, looking forward to getting him out again. He travelled really well in the Gold Cup last year till the turn in. So maybe the Ryanair 2.5 up the hill hopefully might suit him.
Yep. And Dean will finish off the rest of the entries.
I had a Chris's Dream down there to talk about as well. He was impressive, Henry, whenever he won the Troytown. You know, he's up Navan Hull with no problem. You know, I think he could be, as you say there, it could be a good each way chance at Cheltenham this year. Looking at some of the rest of the entries there, you've got Heather Rocco, Baptism of Fire, and yeah, we'll talk about them too, sure, if that's okay.
Yeah, neither of them are going. I'm just trying to think what else we have going. I without the list in front of me, we've got. We seem to have quite a few sort of doubled up. You know, we've three potentials in the Champion Hurdle, 2 in the Gold Cup, 2 in the Champion Chase. So we're not spread out as much, but yeah, look, we're really looking forward to it. Touch wood, they seem in good form at the moment. So fingers crossed we'll get them there in one piece and have a bit of luck.
Yeah.
That old thing.
Yep.
Yeah. That's good to meet you.
Henry, thanks very much for coming on. If you still enjoy it, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube. And again, Henry, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on, and we wish you the absolute best luck at Cheltenham. Sorry, and you'll no doubt have a couple of winners anyway.
Oh, we'll see. Fingers crossed. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Good to talk to you.